Hi guys, so in this video we will look at the first form of weekly contest 277, that is count element with strictly smaller and greater element. So we have given an integer array nums and we have to return the number of elements that have both a strictly smaller and a strictly greater element appear in the nums array. That means that we have to find the count of the type of element that have the property like a strictly smaller element and a strictly greater element should also be present in the given array. So let's see an example to understand this problem more clearly. So we have given a nums array like this. So if you see for the element 11, you will find that we have a strictly smaller element 7 and a strictly greater element 15 present in the array. So this element satisfying the condition. So we will count this element in our answer variable that will be holding the count of these type of element. So now we have to see this condition for every element in the array. So if you see that the smaller element for the 11 and greater element, they are present at apart from each other. Now if we are going to do this for every element in the array, the problem will occur like we have to search for smaller and greater element. So there is one more convenient way of doing that. Like what if we sort this given array nums? And if we look at the first element, like first we have sorted, and if we see the element at index 1, and we have to see the smaller element, so we just have to see the element at index 0, and for the greater we just have to see the next index. So if it is satisfying the condition, then we'll increase the count of our answer variable. Okay, so it will be a good way to go with. But if you look for the example 2, we'll see that one special thing about this is like what if the element get repeated? Then our condition will be fail. Like it will be no more useful to see the index just before and after it. So we have to modify our approach. So let's move to the whiteboard to form a proper approach for this problem. So here is our nums array. And one thing you will see that here we have two elements that is acting twice. So because of this, our previous approach will not work. Like we previously were doing, like we were sorting the given array in the beginning, and we will look at the first index in the next index. So here the approach will fail. Now what we can do is, since let's see for this element, we should have a element that is strictly smaller than this, so it is present right before it, and a strictly greater element. So if you see for the strictly greater element, you'll feel that it is same, so we can't do this. But one thing it is for sure is, if it is not the last element of the array, and if it is not last the element of the array, then greater value can be present after it. Okay, now what if we compare this element at index 1 to the last index of the array, that is 90? You will see that it is satisfying the condition. Okay, so that means that it is a valid. So we will increase the count of our answer variable. And similarly, this thing we can do for every element. Like first we will sort the given array, and then we will compare the first element and the element at the last. And if it is satisfying the condition, like -3 is smaller than 3 and 90 is greater than 3, so we just have to increase the count of our answer. And if you do this for every element in the array, then it will be more convenient because the given array is sorted. So this will be our approach. That is, first we will sort the array, then we will move in a or loop, and we will check the condition of strictly smaller and strictly greater. And whenever it is satisfying the condition, we will increase the count of our answer variable. So that will be our approach. So let's try to implement it and see what's the output of this approach. So earlier we have discussed like we will first sort this nums array. So we will use the inbuilt function. After that we just have to make a variable answer that will keep the count of the element that we just have to return. And now we just have to traverse in nums array and check for the condition. So what will be our condition? That is, if the element is greater than the element at the beginning, that will be at the index 0, and the element if it is less than the element at the back of the array, that is nums dot back. Then what we have to do, we just have to increase the count of our answer variable. And once we have done this, we just have to return the count. So by doing this, I feel that we can solve this problem. So I will just quickly run this code and see if it is matching with the expected answer or not. So it is matching. Now we just try to submit this approach, and you can see that this approach got accepted. So this is one of the way to solve this problem. So talking about the time and space complexities, from the very beginning you will see that we have sorted the array, so that will be done in n log n time. And also we just have use a variable that will take o of one space. So time complexity will be n log n and space complexity will be o of 1. So this is one of the way to solve this problem. So I hope that this approach is clear to you. So let's meet in the next video with a different question. Till then, stay happy, stay safe, and happy lead coding.